Chosen one, you can feel it, can't you? Something pressing on your spirit, something weighty yet holy, like an invisible seal upon your life. You walk into rooms, and people notice before they even understand why. They stare, they whisper, some even shift uncomfortably because they can sense it too. There is a mark on you. Not a mark of shame, not a mark of defeat, but the imprint of heaven itself. This mark has followed you from the beginning. You couldn't explain why certain doors shut in your face, why relationships crumbled, or why you always felt a little set apart even when you tried to blend in. Others were free to compromise, but you couldn't. Others walked in circles, but you were always pulled forward, often against your own will. That was not coincidence. That was the evidence of the divine hand writing your story. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, sometimes in pain, sometimes in silence, sometimes in warfare, is drawing near. Heaven is about to confirm publicly what you've known privately. The mark you carry is about to be revealed as God's signature over your life. This confirmation will not be subtle, it will not be quiet. When it comes, those who doubted you, dismissed you, or tried to bury you will have no choice but to admit it. You were chosen, you were marked, you were set apart for something that cannot be erased, cancelled, or denied. But hear me clearly, this is not just about recognition, it's about assignment. God does not brand his own without purpose. The mark you carry is proof that you are under divine commission, and heaven itself intends to back you. Every step you take from this point on is about to echo louder, strike deeper, and shake atmospheres, because the mark will now be confirmed. Yet, there is mystery here. What does this confirmation look like? How will it manifest in your life? Will it come as blessing, as breakthrough, as undeniable favor, or as trial that only the marked can endure? Stay with me, because in these next moments, you will see what many have longed to understand, the true meaning of carrying heaven's mark. Before we move deeper, pause. Breathe. Let this truth sink in. You are not ordinary. You have never been ordinary. And what is about to unfold will make that clearer than ever. Because the truth is, what you carry does not belong to you alone. It is heaven's investment, heaven's imprint, heaven's call written into the very fabric of your being. And the one who placed it there has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He has been watching, waiting, preparing the perfect moment when your life aligns with the fullness of his design. Understand this, the mark is not man-made. No mentor could give it. No enemy can steal it. It was placed upon you by God himself before the foundations of the earth. He spoke your name into existence, and with that name, he sealed you with his authority. That's why you've always felt different. That's why no amount of running, hiding, or rebelling could remove that inner pull. It wasn't a matter of preference, it was destiny. And destiny comes with weight. That weight has crushed you at times, hasn't it? Nights when you cried out, "Lord, why me?" Days when you wondered if the pain was evidence that you had been forgotten. But let me tell you, even in your lowest moments, the mark never faded. Even in your rebellion, the seal remained. You were carried through storms, not because of your strength, but because heaven refused to let its investment be lost. Now God is speaking. The hour of confirmation has come, not confirmation by men who change their words with the wind, but by the eternal God whose promises cannot return void. You are stepping into a season where what was whispered in secret will be declared on rooftops. The same Spirit who marked you will now testify about you. But pause here, because with that confirmation comes accountability. To be marked by heaven is not a trophy, it is a responsibility. It means your life is not your own. It means your choices are no longer casual. Every step you take ripples into eternity. And God is calling you to walk with a fresh reverence, a holy seriousness, because the days ahead are not random, they are orchestrated. The anticipation you feel right now, that tightness in your chest, that stirring in your spirit, that is heaven drawing near. It is the voice of the Spirit saying, prepare yourself, consecrate yourself, For tomorrow I will do wonders among you. The mark you carry is about to be confirmed, and the only question is, will you be ready to steward what that confirmation brings? This is why the connection matters. Trust the source. This is not hype. This is not emotion. This is the whisper of the Almighty, the same voice that called Moses from the burning bush, the same voice that marked David in secret before the oil touched his head, the same voice that overshadowed Mary and brought forth the impossible. That same voice is now speaking into your story. So, lean in, heaven is moving, and your mark is about to speak louder than words. There is a reason you've been feeling the tension in the atmosphere, a reason you've noticed unusual shifts in your life. Relationships breaking off, sudden transitions, strange dreams, moments when time itself seemed to slow down as if heaven was holding its breath. It has all been pointing toward this one thing. The prophecy attached to the mark you carry is beginning to unfold. The Lord is declaring, what was hidden is about to be revealed. What was delayed is about to be accelerated. What was resisted is about to be released. The confirmation of your mark will not be subtle. It will break forth like lightning in the night sky. Impossible to ignore, impossible to deny. Picture it, a door you could never open, suddenly swinging wide. A voice you thought was silenced, suddenly being amplified. Favor you could never earn, suddenly resting upon you like a mantle. It will feel like stepping into a reality you always knew was coming, but never quite knew when. That when is drawing near. The prophecy is this: you are about to be identified, not by your struggles, not by your scars, but by the signature of God upon your life. Where others were labeled by failure, you will be recognized by divine favor. Where others blended into the crowd, you will stand out not because you sought attention, but because heaven has chosen to spotlight you for His glory. Do you feel the shift? This is why the warfare intensified. This is why the opposition seemed relentless. Hell always attacks what heaven is about to confirm. The enemy knew something was coming, and so he tried to break you before you reached this threshold. But what he failed to realize is that your very survival has become the loudest prophecy of all. You endured, you remained, and now the seal will speak louder than every lie spoken against you. There is mystery woven into this moment. For some, the confirmation will appear as sudden elevation promotions, opportunities, connections that no resume or strategy could explain. For others, it will manifest as undeniable vindication, truth coming to light, hidden motives being exposed, your name being restored where it was once slandered. And for still others, it will emerge as supernatural empowerment, the gifts of the Spirit, awakening in fresh measure, visions sharpening, discernment increasing, authority rising. But in every case, the essence remains the same. Heaven will confirm you, not by men, not by systems, not by temporary applause, but by undeniable evidence that the hand of God rests upon your life. And when it happens, you will know. You won't need to guess. You won't need to second-guess your worth or question if you're truly called. The confirmation will be too precise, too timely, too orchestrated to be coincidence. It will bear the fingerprints of God, leaving no doubt that the prophecy spoken over you is real. But hear me clearly, this is not just about blessing you, it is about positioning you. Heaven is not confirming you for your comfort, but for your assignment. The mark you carry identifies you as a vessel, a messenger, a warrior in a generation starving for truth. And when the confirmation comes, it will place you on display, not so men can worship you, but so that through you, the reality of God becomes undeniable. The prophecy is being fulfilled even now. You can feel it in the timing of things, in the way your spirit is restless yet expectant, in the way you've been separated from circles that no longer fit. Heaven has already decided. The scroll is already written, and you are stepping into a chapter that will reveal the fullness of who you were always meant to be. So do not fear the spotlight. Do not shrink back when the moment comes. Remember, you are not here to prove yourself. You are here to confirm what God has already spoken. Your mark is not for shame. Your mark is not for ridicule. Your mark is the living prophecy that heaven is now unveiling to the world. When heaven marks a person, it is not just a decoration, it is a declaration. A declaration that your life has been claimed, consecrated, and set apart for something eternal. To carry the mark means you are not bound to the ordinary cycles of this world. You are tethered to a higher rhythm, a divine timeline that often collides with human expectation. And this is why your journey has never looked like anyone else's. Think of it like seasons. For most, seasons follow predictable patterns: spring, summer, fall, winter. But for you, the weather has always been strange. Sometimes you were in the middle of what felt like a personal winter, while others were celebrating their harvest. Other times you entered sudden breakthroughs that no calendar could explain. That's because your life is not governed by earthly clocks. It is governed by the timing of heaven. And the mark, it is the seal that binds you to that timing. It is why some doors opened earlier than expected, and others refused to budge no matter how hard you pushed. It is why delays that felt like punishment were actually divine protection, holding you back until the right alignment appeared. When you are marked, the rules change. What destroys others refines you. What confuses others clarifies you. What delays others prepares you. The mark also speaks to identity. From the beginning, the enemy has tried to rename those God has chosen. He called Israel slaves when God called them a nation of priests. He mocked David as just a shepherd boy when God saw him as king. He labeled the apostles uneducated men when God had stamped them with authority to turn the world upside down. And you? The same pattern has followed you. The world gave you names too weak, too broken, too much, not enough. But the mark of heaven rewrites those names. It declares you as beloved, as chosen, as anointed, as sent. To carry this mark is to live as a walking contradiction. You are in the world, but not of it. You feel deeply, yet see beyond what others can perceive. You carry wounds, but out of those wounds flows wisdom. You bear scars, but those scars shine as proof that you survived battles others could not endure. The mark does not erase your humanity. It sanctifies it, making every part of your story a testimony. Consider the metaphor of fire. When gold is placed in the furnace, the flames do not destroy it, they purify it. The heat reveals what is false, burning away impurities until only the true substance remains. This is the spiritual meaning of the struggles you've faced. The mark made you gold in the eyes of God, and so the furnace became unavoidable. Not because he wished to harm you, but because he intended to refine you until you reflected his light without distortion. Or think of the storm. While others panic when the winds rise and the waters roar, those who are marked find themselves strangely anchored. The storm may bend you, but it cannot break you. Why? Because your foundation is not built on sand. It is built on the rock, and the rock knows your name. The rock has sealed you with his covenant. The storm, then, becomes not an enemy but a tutor, teaching you how to trust, how to see, how to endure. Another metaphor is the door. In Scripture, doors often represent opportunity, access, or transition. For the marked, doors appear that others cannot even see. Where others encounter walls, you encounter gateways, but the timing is critical. Some doors you knocked on and found locked, only to discover later that God himself was holding them shut, not to deny you, but to preserve you. And now, because the prophecy is unfolding, doors that were once sealed are about to open with ease. This is the meaning of your mark. It grants you access to places you could never enter without divine permission. And then there is the journey. Marked ones do not walk straight roads. Their paths wind through wilderness, deserts, valleys, and mountaintops. Every detour, every delay, every unexpected turn has been part of the design. For the journey itself shapes you into someone who can carry the weight of the mark. Without the journey, the mark would feel like a burden. With the journey, the mark becomes your compass, guiding you with precision. This is the depth of what you carry, a seal that connects you to divine timing, a name that cannot be erased, a fire that purifies without destroying, a storm that strengthens rather than sinks, doors that open only by God's hand, and a journey that reveals who you truly are. So when heaven confirms the mark, it will not be a surprise, it will be recognition. Recognition of a process long in motion, recognition of a story heaven has been writing with every trial, every triumph, every tear. And you, beloved, will finally see that nothing was wasted. Every chapter was preparation, every season was intentional, every moment was marked. When heaven begins to confirm what has been placed upon your life, the evidence doesn't only appear in grand moments. It often begins quietly, subtly, woven into the fabric of your everyday experience. The confirmation of your mark will not only come in thunder and lightning, it will whisper, it will nudge, it will show up in ways so precise you cannot mistake them. One of the first signs is atmospheric shift. You will notice that the environment reacts differently to you. Rooms grow quiet when you walk in. Conversations change when you arrive. Some lean closer without knowing why, while others avoid your presence as though a mirror were being held to their soul. This is not imagination. It is heaven's way of confirming that your spirit carries a frequency that cannot be ignored. A second sign is divine alignment. People, opportunities, and resources will suddenly appear in your life at just the right moment. Not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, but because heaven orchestrated it. The right person will call, the right door will open, the timing will be so exact that you will have to acknowledge, this could only be God. Another sign comes through dreams and visions. The Spirit may speak to you in the stillness of the night, unveiling images, words, or impressions that confirm your assignment. These will not be ordinary dreams. They will carry weight, leaving you with a sense of urgency, clarity, or peace that lingers long after you wake. Pay attention. Confirmation often comes in the language of symbols. A fourth sign is heightened discernment. You will find yourself seeing through people, perceiving intentions, sensing truth from lies with an accuracy you didn't possess before. This is not suspicion, it is confirmation. God is sharpening your inner sight so you can steward your mark with wisdom. A fifth sign is unexplainable peace in the midst of turbulence. While others crumble under pressure, you will discover a strange calm. Not because the situation is easy, but because your spirit knows something your mind cannot yet articulate. Heaven has already marked the outcome. This peace itself is a sign, a reassurance that God's confirmation is at work, even before you see results. And finally, there is public recognition. Not the kind you seek, but the kind that finds you. Without trying, without campaigning, your name will be mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Your influence will stretch further than your reach. People you've never met will speak of the impact you've had. This is not vanity, it is heaven amplifying your mark, so others can witness God's hand upon your life. These are the signs, both subtle and visible, that tell you the confirmation is already unfolding. Atmospheric shift, divine alignment, dreams and visions, heightened discernment, unexplainable peace, public recognition, each one a reminder that the seal upon your life is not a secret anymore, it is being unveiled. So pay attention. Do not dismiss the small signs while waiting for the big ones, for often it is in the whispers that God reveals the loudest confirmations. But before the fullness of confirmation comes, there are hidden challenges you must walk through. These are not designed to destroy you. They are designed to test, refine, and prepare you for the weight of what is coming. Every mark must be proven. Every seal must endure pressure. And the greater the confirmation, the greater the testing that comes before it. One challenge is misunderstanding. You will be misread by those closest to you. Friends may accuse you of changing, family may question your choices, and even spiritual voices may fail to discern the path you are on. This is not because you are wrong, but because the mark you carry places you on a frequency they cannot tune into. The test is this: Will you remain faithful when people misinterpret your obedience? Another challenge is isolation. There will be stretches of time when you feel utterly alone, as though heaven itself has gone silent. Invitations dry up, support disappears, companions fall away. But understand, this is strategic. God often clears the room before he reveals his glory, ensuring that when confirmation comes, no one else can claim the credit. The test is this: can you trust God's presence when his voice feels hidden? A third challenge comes as resistance. Doors you expected to swing open may still remain shut for a time. Projects may stall, progress may feel blocked. This is not rejection, it is resistance. And resistance builds strength. The test is this: will you keep pushing in faith, even when it feels like everything is pushing back? Another hidden challenge is temptation. Just before confirmation, distractions multiply. Counterfeit offers appear. Easy paths present themselves. These are traps meant to pull you off course right before breakthrough. The test is this: will you remain true to the assignment, or will you settle for the counterfeit crown? There is also the challenge of inner warfare. Doubt, fear, and insecurity may rise louder than ever. Old wounds may resurface, whispering that you are unworthy or unready. But remember, the louder the lies become, the closer you are to the truth being revealed. The test is this: will you anchor yourself in what God has spoken, or in the echoes of past pain? And finally, there is delay, the most painful challenge of all the waiting. Waiting while knowing you are marked. Waiting while feeling the weight of destiny pressing in. Waiting while others seem to pass you by. But delay is not denial. It is God's way of aligning the stage, ensuring the moment of confirmation arrives in perfection, not chaos. The test is this: will you trust his timing, or will you grow bitter in the waiting? Beloved, these hidden challenges are not punishment. They are preparation. They are proof that you carry something worth resisting. They are evidence that heaven has invested too much in you to let you enter this next season untested. And if you can endure these hidden challenges with faith, you will discover that every trial was carving you into someone who can not only carry the mark, but steward it with strength and humility. If heaven is about to confirm the mark you carry, then you cannot step forward casually. You cannot enter this moment unprepared. When God confirms, he expects alignment, and so the Spirit is releasing instructions, holy directives to prepare your heart, your mind, and your spirit for what is coming. The first instruction is consecration. Set yourself apart. This is the hour to cleanse what has clung to you from past seasons. Let go of relationships that drain you. Close doors to habits that pollute you. Lay down distractions that keep you from hearing clearly. You cannot afford to dilute the oil by mixing it with what is unholy. Consecration sharpens your focus and makes space for heaven to pour fresh fire. The second instruction is silence before God. In a world that demands constant noise, your power will be found in stillness. Carve out time to sit in quiet, with no agenda except to listen. Confirmation does not only come in signs and wonders, it often comes in whispers, and only those who cultivate silence will recognize the whisper when it arrives. The third instruction is obedience in the small things. Many wait for grand assignments, but God tests with small ones. He may ask you to forgive someone who hurt you, to sow into a place that feels uncomfortable, or to release a word that seems insignificant. Do not dismiss these instructions. They are the stepping stones to greater release. When you prove faithful in the little, heaven entrusts you with much. The fourth instruction is guard your words. Your mouth is a gate, and what you speak either confirms or cancels what God is doing. Do not waste your breath on negativity, gossip, or complaint. Speak life over your future. Declare the promises of God out loud. Call things that are not yet seen as though they already exist. Every word you release in faith builds the atmosphere that will welcome your confirmation. The fifth instruction is prepare practically. Sometimes spiritual people forget that heaven moves through earthly vessels. If God confirms you by opening a door, will you be ready to walk through it? If He elevates you, will your character sustain it? Preparation may mean studying, building, practicing, or saving. Faith without works is dead. Prepare in the natural as you expect in the supernatural. The sixth instruction is, embrace accountability. You were not meant to carry the weight of the mark in isolation. Seek out wise counsel. Surround yourself with those who sharpen you, not those who flatter you. Allow trusted voices to hold you steady when emotions rise. Accountability keeps pride from creeping in when confirmation brings visibility. And finally, the seventh instruction is move with urgency, but not haste. Heaven is moving quickly, but you must not confuse speed with recklessness. Do not delay in obedience, but do not rush ahead of God's timing. Walk in step with the Spirit, allowing Him to pace your journey. The mark is not confirmed by sprinting, it is confirmed by alignment. These are not casual suggestions. They are survival codes for this season. Consecration, silence, obedience, guarded words, practical preparation, accountability, urgent alignment. Each one is a key, and together they unlock the door into the season you are about to step into. Beloved, do not take these instructions lightly. They are not meant to weigh you down, but to lift you up, to prepare you to steward what is coming without fear. God does not mark you to leave you vulnerable. He marks you to equip you. And with these instructions, you will not just carry the mark, you will carry it with honor, with clarity, and with unshakable authority. With confirmation comes visibility, and with visibility often comes attack. But let your heart rest in this truth. The God who marked you is the same God who will guard you. The seal upon your life is not just an identifier, it is also a shield. Heaven does not confirm you, only to leave you exposed. Picture yourself surrounded, like Elisha's servant, who once trembled at the sight of enemy armies. You may feel outnumbered at times, but open your spiritual eyes, and you will see what he saw: chariots of fire encircling the mountain, a heavenly host standing watch over those who carry God's mark. The protection around you is greater than the pressure against you. One assurance you must cling to is this: every weapon formed against you will fail. It may be aimed, it may be launched, it may even graze your skin, but it cannot prosper. Why? Because the mark is untouchable. It is heaven's property stamp, declaring, "This one belongs to me." The enemy may try to tamper, but he cannot erase what God Himself has sealed. Another assurance is that divine protection is not just external, it is internal. God fortifies your mind with peace that surpasses understanding. He strengthens your heart with joy unspeakable. He shields your soul with hope that does not disappoint. So while the world may rage around you, the fortress of God within you stands unshaken. And then there are the quiet interventions you will never see. Times when you were delayed just enough to miss the accident. Times when a no saved you from entanglement. Times when the Spirit nudged you to turn left instead of right, and in that simple shift, you were delivered from danger. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations of divine covering. The mark also ensures angelic assignment. Scripture says angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who inherit salvation. That means you are never alone in this battle. Invisible warriors walk beside you, executing God's orders on your behalf. You don't see them, but their presence is real. Their protection is constant. And let this comfort sink deep. God Himself fights for you. You are not carrying this mark in your own strength. The Lion of Judah roars over your life. The shepherd defends his sheep. The Father guards His children with jealous love. If anyone touches you, they contend not with flesh, but with the Almighty. So do not live in fear of being marked. Live in confidence. You are sealed, covered, and hidden in the shadow of the Most High. Yes, attacks may come. Yes, challenges may arise. But your story is already written, and no enemy has the power to erase a line of it. Beloved, Rest. The confirmation will not destroy you, it will deliver you. The mark will not expose you to danger, it will surround you with divine assurance. Heaven has already assigned your protection, and the God who began this work in you will be faithful to finish it. When heaven confirms the mark upon your life, everything shifts. It may not happen in a single moment, but when the unveiling begins, the transformation is undeniable. You will look back and realize that the very battles which once threatened to break you have become the foundation for your elevation. The ashes you carried will be exchanged for beauty, and the scars you wear will shine as proof of divine victory. The first layer of transformation is identity. No longer will you be defined by the false labels others placed upon you. The whispers of "not enough," "too broken," "too late," will lose their grip. Heaven will speak louder. You will walk with confidence, not in arrogance, but in the quiet assurance that your life bears God's seal. The mark will redefine how you see yourself: beloved, chosen, unstoppable. The second layer is authority. Confirmation does not only validate, it activates. You will notice that when you speak, environments shift. When you pray, things move faster. When you step into spaces, influence flows without striving. Authority is not about volume, it is about weight, and the mark gives you that weight. Heaven's confirmation transforms you into a vessel through which God's power flows unhindered. The third layer is alignment. The chaos of past seasons begins to make sense. The detours, the delays, the disappointments, they come into focus as part of a larger pattern. Suddenly, pieces of your life click together like a puzzle. People who once left return with new posture. Doors that stayed shut swing open at the exact right time. What once felt like wasted years will now be revealed as preparation. Another aspect of transformation is impact. Your life begins to ripple outward. Without trying to prove yourself, others will be touched by what you carry. A simple conversation leaves someone encouraged. A prayer whispered in private sets off a chain reaction in someone else's destiny. The confirmation of your mark is not just for you, it is for the generations tied to your obedience. And then comes fulfillment. That long ache in your spirit, that sense of "there must be more," begins to lift. You step into places you once only dreamed of. You taste the fruit of promises you held onto for years. You realize that every tear was watering the soil for this very harvest. And the fulfillment is sweeter because you know what it cost. You know the wilderness, you know the silence, and now you also know the joy of seeing God's word come to pass. But the most powerful transformation is intimacy. For even in the beauty of fulfillment, the greatest reward is not the recognition, the opportunity, or the breakthrough. It is the closeness with the one who marked you. You will find yourself leaning into his presence, not out of desperation, but out of desire. The confirmation of the mark will draw you deeper into the heart of God, because you will know every good thing you see is simply evidence of his hand at work. This is the picture of your future, no longer wandering in uncertainty, but walking in destiny, no longer weighed down by shame, but lifted by grace, no longer silenced by fear, but speaking with authority. Transformation is not coming, it is here. And fulfillment is not just a dream, it is heaven's decree over your life. So rejoice. Heaven has remembered you. The mark is being confirmed. And the world will soon see the radiant evidence of what God has always known: you were chosen, sealed, and destined for such a time as this. Take a deep breath now. Let the weight of what you've just heard rest in your spirit. The mark you carry is not going anywhere. It was written by the hand of God himself. And heaven is about to confirm it in ways you cannot yet imagine. But before you leave this moment, let truth settle into your bones. I want you to speak these affirmations out loud, not as empty words, but as declarations of faith that align your heart with heaven's decree. Affirmation 1. I am sealed by God, and no one can erase his mark upon my life. Affirmation 2. Every challenge I face is preparing me, not defeating me. Affirmation 3. Heaven is confirming me, and I will walk boldly in my divine assignment. Affirmation 4. I am protected, I am equipped, and I am unstoppable in Christ. Let these affirmations echo in your spirit. Repeat them in moments of doubt. Whisper them when fear creeps in. Declare them when the enemy tries to remind you of your past. Each word becomes a sword, cutting through lies and anchoring you in truth. And now, beloved, receive this blessing. May the God who marked you before time began surround you with his unshakable presence. May his voice thunder over your life with clarity, and may his whispers steady your steps with peace. May you walk into every room knowing that you are sealed, favored, and backed by heaven's authority. I bless your mind to think clearly, your heart to love deeply, your hands to build faithfully, and your feet to walk boldly into the places prepared for you. I declare over you that no weapon formed against you will prosper, and every tongue that rises against you will be silenced by the truth of God's confirmation. May the confirmation of your mark bring joy that no sorrow can steal, favor that no opposition can block, and intimacy with God that no distraction can weaken. May you rise each morning with courage and rest each night with assurance, knowing that the one who began this good work in you will be faithful to complete it. Go forward now in peace. Carry your mark with honor. Heaven is about to confirm it, and the world will see what God has always known: you were chosen, sealed, and destined for such a time as this. Amen.